Welcome to solverfy.
So the rays entering your eye here in the diagram, the eye being on the left side of this image here, are diverging from the virtual image position behind the mirror. So the mirror here I have drawn as the green line. So therefore the distance from the eye to the mirror, d naught, is going to be the same as the distance from the mirror to the virtual image, di. And then and those are lowercase d naught and lowercase di. And then the capital D sub P is the diameter of the pupil, which we were told is 4.5 times 10 to the minus 3 meters. So therefore, the diameter of the area on the mirror and the diameter of the pupil must subtend the same angle from the image. So we have the diameter of the part of the mirror here that the image is crossing. Here, we'll call this D sub M, divided by the distance, d sub I, is going to have to be equal to d sub P, the diameter of the pupil, divided by the distance to the virtual image from the pupil, which would be d sub 0, the distance to the mirror, plus d sub I, the distance from the mirror to the virtual image. Okay, and that is true because the angles then would be the same. So therefore, solving for the diameter of the mirror, d sub m, we find that this is going to be equal to d sub I divided by d naught plus d sub I. And then that ratio is still multiplied by the diameter of the pupil. But since d naught is equal to d sub I, this is equal to 1/2 times the diameter of the pupil. Using this, we can find the area of the mirror. This is because, so we'll do this on a new page, the area of the mirror, area here is 1/2 pi r squared, but we don't know the radius, we know the diameter, so it's 1/4 pi times the diameter of the mirror squared. And we were just told that the diameter of the mirror is 1/2 times the diameter of the pupil. So the 1/2 gets squared, which becomes 1/4. That gets multiplied by the 1/4 out front here. So this becomes 1/16 times pi times the diameter of the pupil squared. So plugging that value into this expression, we find that this is equal to 4.0 times 10 to the minus 6 meters squared. We can box that in as our solution to the question.